Hello friends, this is Ganesh and video number 16 on object-oriented ABAP. So this is the continuation of design pattern concept in object-oriented. We have many design patterns, and design patterns is, as already we have seen, this is the solution or industry solution for any of the issues or any of the business requirement, and depends on your need you are able to make use of this. Most of the design patterns are called methodologies. So if your requirement needs these kind of methodology or concept, you can make use of that. Okay, so we have seen two design patterns so far. We have close to 13 14 I believe design patterns. I try to make a video for each design patterns. Okay, and today I'm going to explain the design pattern called decorator. Okay, and here the decorator is also a methodology or a concept. I will explain the concept based on my own scenario, and that will be easy to understand what is decorator and how we can able to use it or achieve it. Then you can try to replicate the same for your own requirement. Let me get into the slide. So decorator, the general meaning is decorate. So if you want to decorate your home or your surroundings, you know what is the meaning of decorate, right? So we have an existing option or a thing that's already available. Without disturbing it, we are going to add some more decoration on it. So normally if in the home, if you want decorate means we have a home already and we are going to decorate it as per our need. The same thing we are going to apply to the object oriented concept as well. So this decorator is an object oriented concept. It's not only for ABAP, and whichever language is adapting the object oriented, they are able to use this design pattern, especially this decorator option. And the second point is I'm going to decorate my object oriented concept based on my own requirements in SAP. So this is nothing but the additional responsibility to the objects. So far in object oriented, we have mainly deal with class properties. Its properties is nothing but methods or attributes and so on. And now the first time we are going to handle more with objects, and it's a reference only. Okay, so object has a dependent object, and in while creating an object, I'm going to ask my class, please hold one more reference variable. So mostly we are going to deal with a reference variable or an object. Okay, maybe this is the first time, but it's very simple. Once you understand, very easy to apply this logic whenever is required. And new functionality to an existing object without altering its structure. So if there is any need comes, I'm not going to change any code of my base class. So this is it's going to work on top of the base class, the existing one, right? So I'm not going to change because of my requirement. I'm not going to restructure the base class. Base class is it's same, and on top of it I'm going to add my own functionalities depends on the business requirement. Okay, so that is the very simple understanding of decorator. So decorator is nothing but adding your own functionality without modifying your base class structure or base class object. Okay, and it's a dynamic, so depends on your need, you can change your design as well. And then the preferable option is abstract class. I'm talking about the base class. Okay, so very basic information. The first step would be a base class. So the base class to be an abstract class, one of the reason is the someone from outside cannot able to create an object for an abstract class. So that is the reason we go the abstract class for the base one. And the second one is decide the way of wrapping the object depends on your needs. So the term or the word wrapping is going to be much closer for the decorator concept. So wrapping is nothing but I have an object, I'm going to wrap it. I can have a n number of layers for wrapping. So I have a base object, so I can do a wrapping 1, wrapping 2, wrapping 3, wrapping 4. Okay, so all are dependents. It's nothing but wrapping 1 is depends on 2, and 2 is depends on 3, 3 is depends on 4. Okay, so that way you're able to wrap your object reference. So now instead of a class, you just wrap your object. Yep. Let me show you some diagram perspective to understand actually technically what we are going to do and achieve this decorator. So that will be very simple. Then we'll go to the scenario, which scenario I'm going to prefer or I'm going to take for this example. And finally, I will show everything in the system. So first thing, I have a base class, and base class is my abstract class. So I'm not able to create any object for it. So I'm going to create a subclass and inheriting all the properties of my base class. Then I'm going to create an object. So that is this object. Okay, so the blue color, because I have a color representation for a easy understanding. So blue color is an object for my subclass, is nothing but subclass of my abstract base class. Clear? And it has two methods. I will explain what is the two methods also. Then what I'm going to do is on top of it, like on top of my base class reference, I'm going to have one more reference for it. Okay, so I'm going to wrapping my object reference with one more object reference. So the communication is two-way communication. So I am able to send anything from this object reference to here or here to here. Okay, so there's a two-way communication between these two object or object reference. And then one more, because of my requirement is like that, so I'm going to have one more object reference. It also has a two-way communication, and still one more, it also has a two-way communication. Okay, so here the connection between objects, if you see the object, the outermost object reference is going to connect only with the green one. So the red one is connect with the green one. As per my design, the red one is not able to connect with orange or blue base class object. So you're not able to do it. So the communication is happening with very recent or very close to your object reference only. Okay, and this is my design. If you need, you can change your design. I don't want the third layer. I want to communicate from red to orange. Okay, yes, you are able to do it. And I need one more object directly. I want to connect from my red object reference to my base class object reference. Yes, that is also possible. So the idea is you are able to wrap your own object, and the communication is going to happen between these two very close to your object reference only. Okay, so this is the basic design of decorator. Okay, now okay, before going to the next slide, so here I'm going to give few technical details what actually I'm going to do. I'm going to segregate two designs. So one is abstract class, as I mentioned, and I'm going to create a subclass because I'm not able to create any object for it. Okay, design number one. Design number two, I'm going to create a decorate class, and here I've already mentioned decorate is a methodology. It is not any keyword to create a decorate class. Okay, so it's fully a concept. So you have to create a concept to achieve the decorate methodology. Got it? So there is no separate keyword to create a decorate or to determine, okay, this is a decorate class, this is a decorate subclass. No, nothing. Okay. So design one, I'm going to have abstract class and its own subclass, and design two, I'm going to create a decorate class. Decorate class is nothing but it's going to be communicate with the base class. Everything's from the base, right? So I'm going to inherit the concept of my base class to the decorate class. Clear? And then I'm going to create a subclass for this one, because a class can be a superclass, can be a subclass. So after inheriting the concept from the abstract class, I'm going to have three more for my design, three more subclasses. Okay, so the same color I have used in the previous slide as well. So blue is object for your subclass of the abstract one, and orange is very next to it, and the green is very next to it, and red is very next to it. Okay, if you remember, maybe I can show you. So blue, orange, green, red. So here also blue, orange, green, red. Okay, so very technically, or for your better understanding, this subclass is going to be hierarchy like this. Okay, dependence, right? So meaning the communication or the information of this subclass needs from the previous one, and the green subclass need information from the orange one, and the orange one needs information from your subclass. The next slide, it will show like that only. So here I want to show you there is a dependency. Okay, in the decorator is always have a dependency of the previous one. Okay, now my own scenario. there is a base class. Okay, there is a base class. I'm going to use a concept called there is a sales of a product. The product is ready. It's actually ordered by a customer and it's ready for shipping. And there are two methods I'm going to use. One is mode of transport, another one is cost of transport. Maybe the package, another one is transport cost. So package is going to say base class, the package is ready, and after that it may be shipped via road or shipped via air, or sometimes they want to ship like through road plus air and then domestic delivery as well. So there are some basic informations I have took for my example. Okay, so the base cost is going to be calculated in my base class, probably 100. So if I want to use the base cost for my second object reference, what is my second class? Second class is going to be determined for a road. If the product is delivered through road, the cost would be base cost plus whatever the cost for the road one. Okay, so that is my second subclass. So these are you for your reference, you can say it's a class or it's object reference, whatever it is. This is the concept which we are going to make. And another class, they decided, okay, this product is going to be sent road plus air also. It's not or, it's and or. So base cost plus what is the road and what is the air fare as well. So air is nothing but base cost plus by road plus 150. And the final one is after the air fare, after the delivery also, we have to do a domestic delivery in the for the customer. Then it could be addition of all three, base plus road plus air, and then some additional charges. So this is the business scenario which I'm going to use decorator concept. So and mostly whenever we actually learning a new concept, we always compare with why can't we achieve this the previous one, previous concept I know, inheritance I know, why can't we achieve this, why can't we achieve with interface or some other concept in object oriented ABAP. Yes, you can think about it. Before that, make sure you are good to know about any decorator, or sorry, any new concept. Once you're done with why this concept is designed, then you can start comparing with the previous concept. Always remember, any language means the source, the company, they doesn't want to give same functionality with two different names. Okay, that is very important. So inheritance also have its own pros and concept, and decorator has its own pros and concerns as well. Okay, so we'll see that. Yeah, this one, the next slide would be okay. So these are the two methods. I believe you are able to follow till this level. Okay. Next one is I'm going to explain little technical. So the base class has its own object and there are two methods, base cost and package detail. This is the two methods which is going to travel your entire business. Okay, means for this business scenario. So I'm not going to add my own methods and all because you know about it. I don't want to involve that my own methods after inheriting it. I'm going to use the same methods with the redefinition concept in all my subclasses. Okay, and this is my another class for the road. I'm going to use the same methods with the redefinition and air and then domestic delivery. Okay, so these are the classes and these are it has your own object reference. Okay, good. Let's go to the next one. So next one, I would like to explain the connection between these two, object reference or reference variable. Okay, I'll go with object. I'm going to give the explanation between the connection between these two objects. So far we create only one object, right? But here the dependency is very much important to achieve the decorator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to map the connection while creating an object, meaning while creating an object, I'm giving one more additional step to the base class saying, please hold my dependent object reference also. It's like this. If the road object, I'm going to create an object for the road class. Okay. So while creating it, what I'm saying is I'm not an independent one. I'm depending on my base object class, meaning I need a value from the previous one. So what I'm going to do is, please keep this object reference as one of or I can say as hold in one of your variable. Okay, so that what the communication is going to be informed while creating an object for any of your subclass. Here I'm going to talking about the subclass for your decorate main class. Okay, so because the first design, what is the first design? Abstract and subclass. I forgot about it. Because that doesn't have any much dependency. That is the starting place. So I'm going to talk about everything on your decorate subclasses. Okay, so we have two main classes. One is abstract class, there is a base class. Another one is decorator main class. Okay, got it. Now the step one. So here, this is my abstract class. I'm going to create a reference variable. I'm not going to create an object because that is not at all possible. So all my reference variable is going to point out to my abstract class only. Okay, all my reference variable going to be passed to my abstract class only. I'm going to create three different reference variable. I will tell you why. Okay, it's for just for a temporary purpose. Okay, so not a big deal. So and this is for my base object. Okay, another one. Okay, before that, so this is the way I'm going to create a reference variable. So you can create a reference variable for an abstract class, but you can't create an object. Okay, so first step possible, second statement not possible. So here I'm going to here this syntactically it's wrong. You can't do this, but for the space constraint I used it. Okay, so ref1, ref2, ref3 is going to be a reference variable of my base class, abstract class. Step 2, I'm going to create an object for that reference variable saying just create a reference variable or create an object using this reference variable for my subclass. So subclass is nothing but my base object. So this is my subclass. Okay. I hope you're able to follow this till this level. So what happens? You have a object for your subclass. It's nothing but abstract class, the subclass one. Another one. Now I'm going to talk about decorator class. Most of the work is going to happen here only. Okay, so decorator class we have okay, further segregation. We have a main class, main decorator class, and we have three subclasses. So main decorator class is going to determine what is the hierarchy of your design. Okay, so subclass is very simple. It has its own options, its own particular code. What is the calculations of your cost and description of your package and everything, but the determination is happening only in your decorator main class. Okay, now what is the next one? So here I'm going to create the next step. Okay, I'm going to create a reference variable for my decorator class. Okay, clear. And then I'm going to create an object, okay, for the particular decorator class, but the type is my road subclass, this one. Okay, so I need a reference variable of my main class, but create an object for my subclass. Okay, so there are two steps involved. I already mentioned so far we didn't much work on the object of creating an object, just create object dot. Now we are saying while creating an object, do the second step also. What you have to do, keep my subclass, one more class, whether it doesn't matter for your decorator class, subclass or whatever it is. Keep one of the reference variable or one of the object informations in your variable, in your class variable. Okay, so that's what I'm going to give the second step. So first step, create an object for my subclass. Along with that, keep the reference variable of my previous one, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. So keep one of the object reference value in your variable. Okay, so your decorator main class will accept this. Okay, after accepting this, it holds the particular reference in a one global variable of your main class. Okay, the next one. So how we can achieve that? Okay, so the idea would be, I'm going to elaborate this level because this is very simple. I'm going to elaborate this level little more technical. So here this is done, decorate class. I'm going to achieve this like creating an object and hold while doing a creation of an object. I need to hold one more object reference in a global variable of my class. So I'm going to choose an option called constructor. Okay, so this is going to happen in my decorator main class. In a decorator main class, I have a constructor. I'm going to keep a constructor. In the constructor, I'm going to keep one importing variable. It accepts input parameters. So it's going to receive an input of a reference variable to hold as a part of the object creation. Okay, so here what happens, it creates an object, and this particular input whatever we receive, one additional object reference, right, nothing but this one, and I'm going to hold or save it in my global variable in the class, in the part of the class, okay, part of my decorator main class. This is the very basic thing we have to do while doing a decorator. Okay, because while creating an object you need to hold the one step above hierarchy, because it's the road, this is sort of dependencies, right? So it depends on this base class, meaning base class reference, my data is available there, get the data because I need to calculate it. Okay, get the base information, so hold my base object reference in your class. Done. Next. Yeah, this one I explained in the previous slide also. Now this is the actual code in the normal program. So create object for my role subclass plus keep my previous or my base class, okay, my base class object reference in your same class variable. It's done. Suppose if it is an air object, this is a dependent one and this is the base class for air object, because the communication is not happening from air object to a base object. No, it's not possible. So excuse me, as per my design, air object is my actual class and road object is my base class for this scenario. So how the code would be? Very simple. So create object deref type air subclass. Okay, so this reference always a decorate main class only reference, and exporting the previous means my base class object reference. I'm sending this as my input. So two steps: create an object for my air subclass plus additionally please hold my base class reference information in your class variable. That's it. That's it. Okay. So this is the main design how we can achieve decorator with this particular steps. This is the way which I learned how to achieve the decorator in our program. Got it? Anything else? No. So hope this might be understandable for you. Let me explain the same in the coding level as well. Okay. Get into the system. So this is my BAP editor. So we'll go a little slowly and it's very easy to understand. So first one, I'll go with the local class. You can do it because it needs to create many classes. So I prefer go with the local one. Same thing you can achieve in SE24 also. So this is my first base class, sales definition abstract. Okay. And it has two methods. One is package, another one is transport cost. That's it in class. Okay, so sorry, okay, I need to have this also abstract, then I can avoid creating a implementation for it. Okay, done. Now I'm going to have a sales, it's a subclass definition inheriting from sales. Public section methods package redefinition transport cost redefinition. Done. And class. So now I need the implementation for this class sales subclass implementation method package. So here nothing, Okay, I need to do one more thing. Let's do it. Write product is ready for shipping. End method. I need a return parameter here. Abstract returning value base cost, because that is important, right? I need something from my base. Okay, done. Now the method transport cost, I can say base cost equal to 100 end method and end class. So design 1 is ready. I have a base class with abstract and I have a subclass for it, just inheriting the properties of the class and define it. Okay. Now I want to write, or I want to create a decorator main class, which is going to be the base, or which is going to be the subclass of this sales class. This is base for everything. Okay. So now I'm going to say class. Okay, before that, it not required, at least for your reference. I'm creating an object like this, data. This is the object for my base class. Base class type ref to sales. So a reference variable is pointed to sales, and I'm going to say create object base class type for my sales subclass. So now you can access your method from your subclass. Okay, this is just for your reference. So I created a reference variable for my abstract class, but I initiated to create an object for my subclass. So if you just execute, there is a write statement. Okay, got it. This is very simple. So okay, let it be. Now I'm going to create my most of the code. The code is very simple, probably 3 or 4 lines. The most code is how to determine your base class for an object. That is a very most code to achieve the decorator. So here I'm saying class decorator main class, right? Decorator main class. Definition inheriting from sales in class. Okay. Methods. First is constructor. Okay, it has an importing parameter of object reference type ref to sales. Yep, it should be value. Okay. And then I need same package, and then I need transport cost. Okay. And this need a redefinition. This also need a redefinition. That's it. And here I need one more variable, not one more, I need a variable which holds the object reference while creating an object. I can say base object reference type ref to sales. So everything is for base. Everything is going to be the base class. Okay, so this is a very basic design of your decorator main class. Let's implement it. So once you implement the decorator main class, everything is simple. Decorator main class implementation in class. So first is for constructor. method. So, okay, you know about it. Constructor has to call your base class constructor even if it is there or not. Otherwise, you'll get a syntax error. So here there are two steps to be performed. Step 1, create object. So this anyway it will take care by the statement called create object. So you don't worry about it. Step 1 is done. Step 2, need to hold the base class. Maybe it depends on which class you're going to call. So if it is a air, the base class for air class is going to be the road, and base class for what is that, domestic delivery is going to be the air class. So like that, I'm not talking about the abstract base class. Okay, so hold the base class object reference in a class variable. So we already defined the class variable, so let me hold it that is gv base object reference equal to im object reference. So that is the input which you are receiving in the base class of your decorator main class. I can say main class, not base, decorator main class of the constructor. Okay, so done, almost done. Okay, and finally the methods to be defined here. So method package to be defined. So based on your object base reference, I'm going to call this package, meaning I'm going to call the package method, and then same thing I'm going to do it over here. So method transport cost. So here there is a return parameter of this method, so I need to fill it. So I just do it in the same single statement instead of declaring a variable, because it has a returning value, returning parameter only, so we can make use of the syntax. And gv base reference, going to call the transport cost method. So I'll show you first with the two things, base and road. Okay, so then it will be easy to understand. So this is the way you have to design your decorator main class. Okay, public section is missing. Okay, yeah, there's no syntax error, so I'm done. So here abstract base class is done, and abstract subclass is also done, and we have done with the implementation of the subclass. Design 1, design 2, decorate your main class, that is also inheriting the concept from your base abstract class. Now I'm going to create another class for to calculate the road. Okay, so that is my design. So here class decorator by road definition inheriting from decorator main class. So these are subclass of your, as per the design whatever I explained for your decorator main class only. So in class, so this is very simple because determination is happening in your decorator main class, not here. These are some basic statements we have to do it. Public section and methods package redefinition, and then transport cost redefinition. Okay, that's it. This needs to be implemented. Class decorator by road implementation, and class method package and method. So here what I'm going to do is okay, let me go with the right statement. Package decided to go by road, just a string. Okay, so now what happens if you call an object, the object reference is by road, which is going to call your own package, means own method. Okay, but while creating an object we ask them to hold your previous object reference in a variable, right? In a global variable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use to call the package in my superclass. So what is the superclass of by road? It's going to be your decorator main class only, and in the main class is holding your base class reference, object reference. Okay, so then what happens, it just go to your package of main class, and this variable is holding your base class reference. So it calls your base class first, then control comes to execute your actual class method. Okay, means by road class method. So same thing for transport of the cost. So there is a calculation involved in that. What I'm going to do is method transport cost super, sorry, not package, so transport cost. So this will call your base class informations, and I want to hold this maybe like this, data base cost by road type I. Okay, now I can say base cost by road equal to, so it will give my base class, means the value from my base class, and then afterwards what I'm going to do is base cost. Okay, maybe I'll go with little detailed in a declaration level. So total cost by road is nothing but base cost by road plus 100. So right statement, total cost by road is GV underscore total cost by road. That's it. So this is very simple calculations. So you don't worry or you don't break your head for this. And close it. So almost we are closing to complete the decorator method. And another point is how to call this. Okay, I have already, so duplicate one. So I have some lines over here, startup selection and everything. So I don't want to call now. So let it be. So this is done. This is my base class. Actually, it's a base subclass. Okay, so base technically subclass object reference or object. Now I'm going to create an object for my road subclass, plus I'm going to give information to keep my base class object reference also. Then only it will call in the hierarchical manner. So create, okay, for that I need a reference variable that refers to my decorator main class, right? Design number 2, second design. Object for decorator class, type ref2 decorator main class. Okay, now so here what I'm going to do is, so create object as decorator class, type, what is the class name, decorator by road. So step 1, please create an object for decorator by road. Along with that, keep my control space bar base class reference. What is a base class reference for my by road is nothing but my, sorry, where it is. Oh, I deleted that also. So here only, I'm sorry. My subclass object reference, just pass it. That's it. Okay. And I already mentioned I need 3 references, right? So one is for receiving object reference type ref to sales, sending, so this is not required, just for an easy way of understanding, I'm increasing my reference variables, nothing much. So what happens, it create an object, it holds in this particular one, right? So here I'm going to say sending object reference is object base class for this scenario. So let me change this also, sending object reference and receiving. So here it is. What I received is received object reference is nothing but object class, right? So this is, we are sending it and we are receiving the object reference is going to be this one. You can use it directly just for your reference. So now if we're going to call, sorry, what have I received? I'm using that object. Both are same. I'm going to call a package and using the same object, I'm going to call transport cost. Dot. Check, no syntax error, activate. So the expectation is it should call my base class, write statement for the package. Package is ready. Then it call my actual subclass, my something but by road subclass, decorative subclass. It calls the write statement. Then it go to the transport cost, base class. It will base cost. It will display what is the base cost and some I added some manipulation or additions in my subclass by road one. So that I will add it and display the value. So that is the expectation. We'll see. Execute. So first, I just explain the package method. Product is ready for shipping. It's a base class one. Package decided to go by road and total cost by road is 200. One statement is missing. It's nothing but base class transport method statement. Why? Okay. So I didn't do any write statement here. Write base cost for shipping as, I'll show in the debugging as well. F8. So now it's correct. Okay. So this is depends on this and this is depends on this base class. Now I'm going to introduce by air. There is a class is going to decide by air, but dependency is road is the dependency for the air. So road is the base class for my another class called by air. So let me have this copy, paste it. So by air, because most of the stuffs are same, and inheriting from decorator my class only. There is no change because this is not going to be the inheritance, multi-level inheritance. This is a decorator. Only it's everything is inherited from your decorator main class because the deciding authority, what needs to be called is from your decorator main class. So this is the go by, oh sorry. Let me copy this. Okay, by road implementation is this one. So now I'm going to do an implementation for by air. So by air implementation, package decided to go by road and air. So that is a concept because the total cost is going to add in that way only. So here transport cost, nothing change here. So road and air. So S is going to be base cost by road. Okay, I can say for easy reference road and air. So I'm receiving that road and air and road and air with, I can say 300. Okay, road and air is 300. That's it. Now deciding authority, we have to, how the way we are designing, that's the way it's going to call. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an object for my air subclass by sending the reference variable of my road subclass. So here create object, same variable reference, and type would be by air. All fine. So what is your object reference? What object reference that the global variable to be hold is nothing but your, okay, here it is, receiving object reference, right? This is the one. So this is by road object reference. So this is my base class now. So I need to send this information. So this receiving is going to be the input for your next step. If you want, you can again pass the information to sending. Okay, let me do it that way. It's easy to understand. Now override the sending because my design is changing, right? Sending object reference is my road. Got it. Then what is my receiving object reference? My receiving object reference is nothing but object reference of by air. That's it. So this is going to be only one time. The package and transport is going to call only one time because we design in the way like it's going to call the super package and everything. Let me execute this. Let's execute this. So here 3 lines are added. Product ready for shipping. Product decided to go by road and decided to go by road and air because the dependency depends on your design. It will come. If you decide only by air, just remove the second wrapping object reference. And then base cost is 100 and total cost by road is 200. Total cost by road and air is 300. That is the issue over here. It should be 500 because I added 200 with 300. Let's see where the mistake I have done it. Base cost transport, this is for by road transport. Okay, so this is the issue because transport cost, once again go to the basic design of transport cost. It should return a value for the base cost, right? So that is the way where we can read the value from the previous one. I believe I missed the base cost in my redefinition part. Exactly over here. This is for by road. Yeah, it's for by road. So final value to be loaded in this variable. It's an exporting variable over here. Total by road. So this needs to be added in air as well. The last one, yeah, before over here. Base cost equal to GV total by road. Okay. For your reference, it's by road and air. Okay, done. Let's see. It should be 500. Hope it would work. Yeah, it's 500 now. Okay, so now I'll show you in the debugging mode. Let's start from here, where it is here. Right. So first step, I'm going to create an object reference for my sales subclass. It's going to create an object. It's created, just your reference, it's 9. Okay, and if you see sales subclass, for which class the object got created? Sales subclass. Okay, if you double click, it doesn't have any base class because I didn't ask to hold any of the base class because this is the starting of my class, so no base class on it. Okay, so sending object reference is going to hold the same value. So this is my base for my next step. Excuse me. My next step is I'm going to create object for my subclass by road and saying one more information, keeping this as my reference object reference. Okay, let's see how it behaves. Just press F5. So it will go to my constructor. So constructor is going to hold my reference of subclass, sales subclass. This is the base class, right? So this is going to be hold this value. Which one? GV underscore object reference. Okay, now go out of the constructor. Now this object for decorator class got created with the number 8 You can see this is created for by road subclass. Now, if we double click this, you're able to see there is a variable, global variable. It hold the base class of your object reference. What is this? It's a by road object reference, but holding a base class reference also. So whenever you're going to call your package, when you're going to call your method, automatically this will call your particular base class method only. Okay, meaning we need some inputs from the base class to perform the subclass of your decorator class. Okay, that's done. Now F5, it's done. So what is a sending object reference for the next step? By road. Okay, so 1 second. Yeah, by road, it's got updated over here. Okay, so step 3, I'm going to create a class for by air message class. So in that case, what is the sending reference? By road is the sending reference. So let's get it. Same thing will execute. Come again, come out. Now if you see, oh, I just come out of it. Okay, so now if you see, this is number 7. Okay, so 7 got created for by air. Just double click. It has a global variable. It holds the by road object reference. Okay, so now the determination is done. Now if you're going to call, so this is the reference. What is the final reference I received? Is by road. I'm sorry, by air. So the hierarchy started with the base class, then I came to road, and then I came to air base class, subclass. Okay, now I'm going to call the package. What will happen? Now the receiving object has a reference of by air. So it going, obviously it will call the package which is implemented in by air class. So here by air implementation package. Now is go to super package. So go to the super class of your decorator by air. Your super class is nothing but decorator main class. So here using the variable. So if you double click, you're able to see, right? Here by air. It holds the base class of by road. So automatically it will call the package which is defined in by road, that is your base class. So go to here, F5. So now it's go to by road package. Again it go to super package. So one more step ahead. Now what is the reference it's holding? It's holding the base class reference, this one. Okay, now it goes to very down level, the first level. So product is ready for shipping. Okay, and execute. Just come to the air now, the same way, the hierarchical way. Come to the by road class, and then again is come back to the where it actually got started, by air class. So previously by road, by mistake I mentioned by air. So by road and then by air, it's done. Same thing for transport cost also. So transport cost, now it goes to air, started from the air class, and here it receives the base class value. So what is the base class value? Now it goes to the which one? Base class of air is road. Okay, so now it goes to here by road and get the value. What is the value of it? It goes here, the value is 100, base value, it's 100. So base cost for shipping is 100. Then it comes to the next level. So next level is by road. So here it is by road, and it's calculating the values. It's 100 plus 100, 200, and it's updating in the base cost also. It's 200 over here. Then again it just come to the next hierarchy level by air. So where are we now? Here it is by air. So it receives the value from the base cost. Okay, over here, this one base cost is 200. It's at the total value, and it's passed to the base cost also. If someone keep this air as a base class, obviously then the next one is domestic delivery, that is going to be keep this by air as a base class. So F5 and F8, done. Okay, so this is the way you can, I don't want to again show the same domestic delivery. It's same thing, just copy paste and change it. I don't want to waste your time. This is the way where we can try to implement the decorator concept of your design pattern. Take your time, start in a fresh mind, and try to understand what is a decorator design pattern and how to achieve it. Create your own scenarios. Maybe you can follow mine, and once you're good, just follow mine. After that, create your own scenarios. Then only you're able to understand this decorator concept very in detail and in a very simple manner. Okay. Just go through it. If any doubt, please let me know. Thank you so much for your time. See you in the next video. Bye.